let's jump into the best albums of this year, man. Top 10, our top 10 albums of the year. Before we get started, we want to talk about we're gonna go from zero. I mean, we're gonna go from 10 to one, right? So everybody got their list, they top 10.
Nope.
No.
I'm about to say, my 10 is really going to be a 10, but my 1 might not be a real 1.
You ready to go? We ready to go? Look, here's the problem. I get into my, I'm about to ISO.
Go ahead.
There ain't no 10 great albums this year. You got 10?
I agree. I agree.
Look, man, they got a few standouts, and then they got a hodgepodge of goodish, kind of dope, halfway fire, but I don't know about it's all the way a solid top 10. I got like a top 3 and a bunch of other ones. What do you think, B?
I disagree with y'all. I think that this year has more than 10 albums that I liked. I mean, my thing is, okay, so the thing about this year to me is that they don't have albums, and this is why I think some people are calling this a weak year and stuff like that. They don't have a lot of albums that are like mainstream, play or have mainstream big hits or stuff like that, and they don't have a lot of albums that are perfect straight through. I think, like you said, there are a few standouts that are, playable straight through plays, or that have. I think there's even less that have some sort of big hip hop hit or universal hit. So my thing though is that there are lots. Every single one of these albums to me have songs that are have multiple tracks that I have in my playlist that I'm on repeat. Love these albums. So.
Okay, but multiple tracks that you got on repeat to me is cool, and I like that too. I have that for a lot of albums. My thing is, if I only got 3 or 4 tracks from your album and the next man's, 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 and maybe one woman, then how is that? How can I make even a top 10 when none of y'all got 10 songs? To me, none of y'all got, a few of them have 5 to 6. And maybe
I'm right with you.
Different opinions. I ain't hear everything. I'm sure there's a couple albums I missed, maybe, but I just don't. I got like 4 or 5 albums that got more than 5 or 6 great songs, or good songs, like songs that I would keep in my rotation and listen to over and over throughout the year. And then I got a lot. I got EPs that got just as many good songs as a whole album.
Well, I agree with that. I have some, like I said, several EPs, but I mean that I enjoy a lot. When we talk about the Blue and Real Batman, but I don't know what's an album, because there's a lot of these 7 songs, 8 songs that Real Blue and Real Batman had 8 songs. The Currency and the and the Jermaine Dupri had 7 songs or whatever. The DZA and the Flying Lotus had 5 songs. There's a lot of projects like that.
They had an extended one, so yeah. But look, let's get into it, man. I mean, I just don't know how to rank them. I don't know how I rank that over other ones. Like, to me, it's whole lot of that's good. So where you at with it?
Yeah. You could have. I think you cut out there for a second.
Music. So I heard him. No, I heard him say Rock Marcy, Griselda stuff, but. Yeah, I think this year sucked in music. Honestly, I guess maybe because a lot of my favorite artists didn't really drop like that. So
Drake dropped about 4 albums, man.
Okay,
no, he dropped 1 album. We didn't get no Freddie album. We didn't get no J. Cole album. We didn't get a bunch of people albums that I really look forward to.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I feel like if you didn't like this year, you just don't have an open mind in music, because I don't think it was a bad year. I think there was a lot of rappers who dropped that weren't the top name rappers, like you're saying. They're not the top name rappers, but I think the Mick Jenkins album was good. And that's not somebody I listened to. That's not somebody I'm excited for, but he dropped a dope album. Touré, I wasn't expecting a Touré album, but then he dropped a dope album. I just feel like. Hello? Well, I'm sorry.
I thought Touré might have been out of it, man. I was worried. I was glad he came back.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I wasn't checking for Dizza, and then he dropped a great project that I love. Like, you know what I mean? So many. I can keep going on and on with this. You know, Ransom dropped another great album. Jay Skis was not even somebody I knew of last year, and he dropped a great project. Love at great, a good project. And, the Conway dropped multiple projects, like we said, that were dope. I don't see how this is a bad year. I feel like there are more. I'll go as far as say this. I think there are more good albums this year than there were last year.
I
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about
feel
that.
like that at all.
I 100% think so.
I mean, like, out of the song, I mean, we named a lot of songs from a lot of different albums, and there's a bunch more that, like, other albums that I don't even think we touched that, we talked about, we liked. I don't know if they have a lot of great albums, but I think there's been a lot of good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of good albums. That's what I mean. And so if you look at last year, I feel like there were some great albums up at the top. And I feel like that's what this year's missing, the tip top great albums. But I don't think that there were as many good albums as this year.
That might be true. That might be true. A lot of people not gonna keep, some of this stuff we talking about, like, we really kind of hunted down. Because I feel like there's so much more too that came out that I didn't give enough listens to. So it's a lot of stuff. If you're not getting it from the big artists, some people not gonna wade through. Listen to all these different albums. Check some of these people that I wouldn't normally check. Like you said, like a Mick Jenkins, I wouldn't really be checking that. I only listen to that song with Gibbs on it now, but I mean, he had a good project. There's some other ones that I thought had good projects that I don't even listen to no more.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't mention anything off of the Apollo Brown Planet Asia. We didn't mention anything, like I said, we didn't mention anything from the Static album. We didn't mention anything from the Paul Wall Terminology album. Like there was a lot of the Danny Brown project. You mentioned the JPEG Mafia Danny Brown, but the Danny Brown was a good album. Like there's so many stuff. We didn't mention anything off of the Earl Sweatshirt. Like tons of people drop good albums. Like I could list all day. And so I don't see how it's gonna be a bad year in hip hop. Leroy, tell me, how is it a bad year in hip hop if you over here you naming so many dope songs from dope projects?
What the hell does that mean? Nah, man. I ain't taking none of these 2023 albums with me into the future. Sorry.
Why you let Drake down like that, man? He was here for you, the boy. He was here for you, and now you saying you're not taking him with you. He dropped all the stuff you wanted, man. He gave you didn't you get an electronic dance album this year from Drake?
No, that was last year, and that is one of my favorite albums of all time. So
that's what I'm saying. So last year was a good year because you like the worst album that came out last year. How many albums from last year you took into this year? How many albums from last year did you take? Go ahead, listen.
Both of them Drake albums are better than this year to me.
So Her Loss and Honestly Nevermind.
I love Dog. Honestly Nevermind is amazing to me. I like dance album like that though. That sounds fire to me. Sing, nigga. I want to hear this nigga sing. All right. Let's see. Now you put me on the spot. 2022.
I'll tell you what
Drake album.
It's to me from last year. It's the Lupe, the KD3.
Paul dropped 2 last year. That was great.
And the JID are.
Oh no, that was 2021.
And the Ransom albums. That's what I still listen to. Those 4 albums.
Oh, I listen to more than that.
Let's see. So, what put out last year?
Carried over, man. But look. Let's stick to what we got. Yeah, we got to stick to what we got to do this year, man.